Good morning, Force followers. How are you today? Happy Thursday. It is kind of dreary here in Katy, Texas. But hi, my name is Brittany Arduini, and I'm the director at Houston Force Volleyball Club. Welcome to Force TV. I come to you each week to talk about all things volleyball, and we are currently in our first season of Force TV, and so we are talking about all things recruiting. Today I have my sidekick next to me. If you have been watching me for a while, you know that this is my son, Bo. He is 9 months and he just started sleeping through the night 2 nights ago. So we are a little off on our schedule for naps. We're trying to figure it out. When does the nap go down? And so we might be changing the time for Force TV in the future. I will definitely keep you posted. But if this is your first time joining me, welcome. Drop a hello in the comments. And if you've been here before, please, please, please give me a big heart or a thumbs up. And thank you for joining me each week to watch Force TV. If you're watching this on the replay, please comment #replay in the comments below and let me know that you were here. So today's episode of Force TV is brought to you by one of our sponsors from the 2021 club season, Katy Good Life. This is Jennifer Wahab's team. They make up the Katy Good Life. They're a real estate group. And so if you need anything real estate, if you need help in anything real estate, this is the team that you want helping you. Jennifer's team is made up of powerful women that want to help you find your next house. So check them out at katygoodlife.com and let them know that Brittany from Houston Force sent you. All right. So we are in our third episode of our first season of Force TV. As I stated before, we're talking about all things recruiting for the next 5 weeks. So it was an 8-week season, and this is all recruiting. Today I have my dear friend Tobias Pinson joining me to talk about recruiting and social media. I know that we use social media every day, and it's become part of our daily lives that we don't even think about how we could be using it to our benefit. So instead of aimlessly scrolling through and learning about everyone else and what everyone else is doing, we should be putting it to use to get your daughters recruited. So a little bit about Tobias. Him and I met during a mastermind group in a course that we were taking. And he is a former collegiate women's basketball coach. And he took his passion for recruiting and decided to help get the athlete recruited versus recruiting them. He wanted to help more athletes find where they were supposed to be. And so he started his own recruiting service. And in that time, the 2 years that he's been running his recruiting service for basketball athletes, he has seen how social media can really help the athlete get recruited. So we're here to talk about recruiting and social media and how we can use it to your benefit. And so without further ado, I will pull Tobias onto the screen. 1 second. Hi, Tobias. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm good. Obviously, as you heard, Bo is here, and so a little stressed. No, I'm kidding. But I'm glad that you're here that you were able to make it today. And so I wanted to take a little time and have you tell me what your story is, like your sports story.
Great question there. I guess I'll kind of go back to my childhood. Grew up playing basketball in the neighborhood. Started playing in the rec, middle school, high school, so on, so on. Ended up going to Winthrop University. Played there for a year, and I also played at Spartanburg Methodist at a junior college. From there, obviously kept my love of basketball afloat. I ended up graduating from the University of South Carolina. At that time, I was not playing basketball my junior and senior year. I was just finishing up school as a regular student, and that's when I got into coaching.
Awesome.
Sort of, kind of. My junior year, I started as a practice player at a Division II program for a women's program, and then my senior year, I started as a volunteer assistant coach. at that same school. So from there, I coached at two Division I schools after graduation, along with three other Division II schools. And 2 years ago, I got out of coaching and started my recruiting service called Hoop Juice Recruiting, and it's based to help girls basketball players who are seeking basketball scholarships.
Awesome. That's so fantastic. So, since you started your recruiting service, do you know these numbers off the top of your head? How many girls have you helped get scholarships?
That number kind of flew off the charts in 2020. Definitely over 100 plus through my camps and my one-on-one placement service.
Nice.
Through my one-on-one placement service, I probably helped about 50, and then through my camps, that number's shot way up and going to continue to go up.
Yeah, and so we've talked a little bit about your camps before. We do in volleyball, we do recruiting showcases, and I would kind of venture to say that that's kind of the equivalent to like a recruiting camp that you do. But how long are your recruiting camps? Like, what does that look like?
Great question. The difference, I don't know much about like how volleyball works per se in a camp aspect, but I know in basketball, you'll typically find people going to camps that are getting a lot of skill instruction. This is how you do a layup, or in volleyball terms, this is how you do a dig. This is how you get better at kills. This is how you get better at blocks.
Right.
And what I wanted to do with my camps is really put the skills you have on display. So it's not a teaching camp. We aren't trying to show you new things. We're trying to put you in an area to show off the skills that you have and show what level you can probably do it at when it relates to the college. But as far as a normal camp day, it's a 1 day event. Starts
Okay.
at 9. We'll do some drills in the morning from about 9 to 11, shooting, dribbling, all that good stuff, just to try to see where you're at as a player. And I try to mimic what a college workout would look like. So
Yeah.
it's not a lot of cones, not a lot of props. It's you, the ball, and the coach, and you're getting different reps doing different things. And then in the afternoon, you'll play games, and we'll do an all-star game. And the thing about it is I have a platform where I can use, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, I can use the brand to push out players' names and also send a report out to college coaches, and I'll give all the kids an evaluation myself too. So
That's awesome. That's really cool. Um, yeah, just recently, recruiting showcases they've always been a thing, but they've really kind of, what's the word, took off this year due to the fact that now, the colleges aren't allowed to come out. So
hmm
they've become virtual events, and, Baller TV, or if the gym can provide live stream, the college coaches log on and watch the entire thing live. And so I think that college coaches are doing that more now, but I think that we're offering it more now because this year is so hard for the kids to get recruited, and so that we want to give them more opportunities to be seen.
Oh, that's definitely key. And I actually forgot that about my camp's live stream. No matter what you're going to, you're gonna want to get that live stream pushed out. Otherwise, coaches won't be able to find you because of the pandemic we have going on right now.
Yeah, and so we're here to talk about like social media and how you can use it to your benefit in recruiting. And so but on first, I wanted to ask, where should you start when you're getting your recruiting process going? Like, what's kind of the first step? What do you tell your athletes?
Great question. With recruiting, I think it all starts with a really good made highlight tape. Now I know in a lot of our high school sports they'll use Huddle
Mm-hmm.
for
Yeah.
to make highlight tapes and things of that nature. And the only thing I dislike about Huddle, I think they have made tremendous strides with highlight tapes, is sometimes it's hard for parents to figure out how to combine games. You can't download full games and things of that nature. So I
Yeah.
would really look into getting a good highlight tape made from somebody that you trust that has a proven body of work, and honestly, quite someone who has made a highlight tape that looks like what you want yours to look like.
Yeah.
So that's the first starting point, is to get that highlight tape out there, post it on social, and get it shared around amongst family, friends, and coaches.
Nice. Perfect. Okay. So, oh, sorry.
Oh,
So
good.
then, what is the best social media platform to get started on or to be recruited through to use?
I've I personally think, and from my research and development, I think the best platform is Twitter. And I say that because when you think about Facebook and you think about Instagram, people are more apt to share personal photos and personal news on there. Maybe it's a baby, a newborn, maybe it's a birthday. On Twitter, Twitter is more of a news platform. So you're going to get politics, sports, shorter information you can put on there. There's no long posts, and college coaches use it to put information out, and they also use it to recruit kids. So
Yeah.
even if you don't want to use the Twitter page, at least have something on there with your highlight tape pinned to the top.
Yeah, and so I just learned recently, I don't use Twitter very often, but I was in a clubhouse room the other day, and somebody talked about pinning your thing, like pinning a post to the top of your thread. And I didn't even know you could do that. So that's fantastic. Like if you were to put
Hmm.
your highlight reel out there and then pin it, every time somebody comes to look at you, it's the first thing they're going to see, right?
Right, 100%.
Yes, I love that. Um, cool. So Twitter is where you should probably start because, like you said, it's more news, it's to the point, it's not, people aren't sharing super personal stuff. I like that. That's awesome. Okay.
And also with Twitter, you're gonna find that more coaches have their profiles open. They're gonna have their real name on there. With Instagram and Facebook, a lot of people like to keep things private and things are hidden.
Yes.
Can deny requests, but most of the time Twitter pages are open. You can tag coaches, you can mention them, you can go in their direct messages as well.
Okay, that's good to know. So, in your experience, do college coaches tend to have their own personal account, or are they using like, you know, I always use Texas State because that's where I went to school, or are the coaches using more like Texas State volleyball account?
Great question. I think they use both. Like you'll find usually in the program, there's one assistant coach who runs the team page,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll also have their own personal page, and then you also have the head coach and all the other coaches. So you usually have one
Okay.
person on the staff in charge of the team page.
Or like at those bigger schools, they have a whole media staff that does everything,
Yeah,
and then
they got a whole media person that just handles everything media wise. So you'll never see the head coach probably doesn't even have a login to the page. They don't even use it.
yeah. Okay. And then what do you need first? You said, place to get started is with your highlight reel. But what
Mhm.
else do we need to get our recruiting started on social media?
Great question. I have a list of about 5 or 10 things, 15. I mean, there's a lot you can do, but I'll start with what I think is the most important. And this is across all social media outlets. You want to start with opening up all of your profiles. So don't make any of your profiles inaccessible, hard to reach, private.
Yeah.
Open up your messages. Again, this is obviously if you're trying to get recruited. Because what happens is people will have private messages, and if I'm a coach and I'm trying to look somebody up, I'll take a few seconds to look. But if I can't find you, I'm on to the next email or message that I got. If I can't find you anywhere.
So with that, I agree. Like, there's no point in having something private if you want people to find you. But my
Right.
thing is, so if you have let's say you have a personal Instagram, should you have a second Instagram that's like for recruiting? Or because you don't want people seeing like what you post, like pictures of your boyfriend and you or whatever, right? It should be all volleyball related, or what's kind of your stance on that?
No, I don't think it has to be all volleyball related. I think you just want to make sure you keep a clean profile. No cuss words, nothing about sex, nothing about drugs. It's okay to post mom, dad, boyfriend, and things of that nature, but just make sure you're sprinkling in volleyball stuff in there as well.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah,
But it
yeah, I think you can have your.
needs to be public.
Yeah, it needs to be public. It needs to be clean. Don't want anybody judging you before they can meet you.
Exactly. First impression is everything, right?
Hmm.
Awesome. So I've always talked about getting on the phone with college athletes, or not college athletes, sorry, college coaches. But as an athlete that's, maybe a freshman or a sophomore, they can't, they can call and leave a message, but the coach can't call them back, right? So when can they, or when is like a good time to reach out to a coach on social media so that you can almost guarantee that they're going to at least see what you've sent them or wrote about them or whatever?
Gotcha. Great question. I think that varies person to person. But I think honestly, the best time to reach somebody would be after midnight and before 6 a.m. And I say that because people are going to get notified on their phones. Anytime
Yeah.
we tap like, mention, share, that's going to be notified. So anytime you wake up, just about everybody in America is going to check their phone. You'll be the first name that they see. The goal is to get your name in front of them. It's not,
Interesting.
yeah, you like in the middle of the night, nobody's gonna be up. You'll be the first name that they see. It may get clicked on, it may not, but if you keep doing it, well, okay, I'm gonna go look at this person. And to be honest with you, college coaches are up all night anyway. They're up all the time, just like the rest of us are.
Hey. Yeah. Okay. So that's interesting. I would have never thought of that. But I do know that the reason there's times when I'll schedule an email to be sent to people, and I send it like right at 8 a.m. because I know that's right when they're sitting down at their desk at work, and I want to be the first person on their email. So I don't want to send it, at 10 p.m. at night, and then all the ones through the night come through, the ads and all this stuff comes through in the middle of the night, and then they don't see mine. So that's really good, because you're right. If you send something or alert them between midnight and 6, then yeah, the first thing they're going to do when they wake up in the morning is see your name. That's interesting.
Or people, yeah, people may be up, so you're not gonna have anybody like liking stuff after the certain time anyway. So
So
they'll be up, they'll see it.
how can you do that as an athlete that should be in bed by 10 or whatever, like should be asleep? So is there a way to schedule that kind of stuff, or no? You just have to be up sometimes.
Yeah, I think you just got one of those things. You got to be up if it's the weekend. I know. I mean, parents probably think the kids go to sleep at 10, 11. They are
Oh,
up,
I know.
TikToking and doing whatever they do.
I
But
know.
yeah, that's the best way of what I would do social media wise is going there. Actually, to be exact, I would go like 3 pictures in a row, 3 different pictures, and you get 3 different notifications that'll be all back to back to back. So even if they miss you and you're not the first one there, your name will be there 3 times in a row listed.
So you want to go and like their stuff, their content.
Yeah, their content, their latest posts. I mean, you could go as far as commenting if you want. There's a lot of different tricks, but I would definitely like three different things. And I would also too like something from the past. So like 2 recent things, and then go like something from like 3 or 4 months ago.
Okay. That's awesome. Great, great. I would have never thought of that. So I like that. That's really great. Um, Man, I'm just like blown away by that whole conversation
Yeah,
right
it's
there.
it's a yeah, it's a lot of tricks to the trade, but that's one of my favorites there.
Perfect. Okay, well, I forgot to mention and tell everybody, but I know that you came today with 5 tips to getting started with recruiting and so on social media. So let's go through them.
Great. That was the first one, kind of jumbled in with
Okay.
some other stuff there. The second tip would be using the raw video file from your highlight tape and not an
Uh-huh.
external link. So by external link, I mean if your video is on Huddle, is on YouTube, is on I don't know, Daily Motion, Venmo, whatever. You're gonna want to download that raw video file as if it was already on your cell phone, and you're posting it directly to the platform. And what that
Okay.
does is platforms are all about engagement. They want to keep you on their page,
Yes.
and on their Facebook wants you on Facebook, Instagram wants you on Instagram, Snapchat wants you on Snapchat. They don't want you clicking off going somewhere else for advertising purposes. So
Right.
when you post a raw video, you're going to get more views on that, and it's going to show up to more people within the platform's algorithm than it would if it was linked outward. And what
Okay.
you can do, is on top of that, once you share the raw video, you can share the outward link in the text of the post.
Okay. So put something actually on there, and then if
Mm.
they could click out later.
Yeah, yes, put the actual video on there as much as you can. Like Twitter right now allows 2 minutes and 20 seconds worth of video.
Okay.
Instagram, I'm not 100% sure, but I know IGTV, you can put your full highlight tape on there. And
Yeah.
Facebook, you can put full things on there. So, and you can link out to the rest of the highlight tape if somebody wants to watch it.
Got it. So this is just a random thought of mine. So obviously, if I had a highlight reel, and and I'm just thinking Instagram for a moment because that's what I use the most for business. But let's say I made an IGTV with my 5 minute highlight reel, and it's under my IGTV. What's the word? Tab. But
Right.
should I share that to like my story and then make a highlight, an Instagram highlight with that, so that it's always accessible? Because kind of like we said on Twitter, like you're gonna want to put your pinned post at the top, but Instagram doesn't have pinned posts. So would that be like kind of something to do? Would that be smart?
Great, great question there. I think when it comes to keeping your,
Sorry.
no, you're fine, you're fine.
I don't know what happened.
Give them a second. Let them get some of mommy's love.
It's okay.
Oh, that was quick. So we oh
He's so tired.
it's all good. Let me know if you want me to keep going or I can pause for a
Yeah, I,
second.
I do. If it's
Okay.
okay.
Okay, yeah, I'll push through. So essentially what you want to do with your highlight tape is, you know, how you can have Instagram, like I don't want to call them reels. It's like right below your Instagram profile highlights.
Yeah.
You can put literally your highlight tape as an Instagram highlight and have it as your first one, so people know what that is. And you know, I always say you can never overshare it or undershare it. It may hit the explore page from stories, IGTV, or your feed. So I would put the actual tape in all of the locations.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, I get what you're saying. Cool. All right. So what's tip number three?
Tip number three is really the volume of video that you would use per season. So obviously, I know volleyball is pretty much year round, and you have your high school season and your club season.
Yeah.
I would say, you know, if you can, if you can afford it, or if you know how to do it yourself, make two tapes per season. So you'll have one, like I call it a midway tape of the season from club, and then you'll
Mm-hmm.
make one at the end of club. Same thing with high school, a midway tape, and then at the end. That
Okay.
way you have four tapes per year, and you're always pushing out, you know, something new, and it shows you improving as a player.
Got it. I love it. All right.
And as far as visibility goes, obviously that's key with college coaches. You can also show yourself working out, like if you're in volleyball practice. And also, if possible, if your high school team or club team keeps up with the stats, you want to share your number of aces, digs, kills, blocks, and things of that nature. If you had a really good game, and
Okay.
also team news as well.
So do you want to share that kind of stuff on your social medias?
Yep, you want to share it, and more importantly, you want to tag any popular outlets, whether it's your local news, any volleyball recruiting services, you know, obviously your club program, your high school program, in
Okay.
hopes of them resharing it for you. And you'll
Okay.
be surprised. There's a lot of people out there that support the kids, uncles, grandmas, cousins, friends of friends. You never know who knows who, and that one share could put your video in another college coach's inbox. So,
Yeah, I wish that it I wish. Okay, so recently we've had some kids on my team this year who took some footage that one of our parents put on YouTube, and they like cut it and they put it on their Instagram, and then they didn't share it for me. And I was like, well, I can't do anything with it if you don't share it. Like, I want to make sure, or you don't tag me or whatever. I can't do anything with it. And then one girl, her profile is private, and same thing, I can't share it to my stories highlighting this kid
hmm
because her thing is private. So that goes back to making sure your thing is public, and tag me, tag Houston Force. Like, I want to
exactly.
share you, I want to put you out there, I want people to see you, I want people to see how awesome you did. So I love that. Make sure that we're sharing and or tagging. um, like you said, tagging even local news networks. You don't know. They might think that that's the coolest thing, and then they'll reach out and be at your next game or something, especially if it's a school game. So great tip. I like that. All right,
Right, and
what's
then
next?
to add
Oh,
on to that, I
okay.
like there's one parent who tags me probably every day in something. Like I can tell it's one of those parents running the kids profile. So I'm
Yeah.
always liking their stuff, and occasionally I'll share it. So I'm used to getting tagged and stuff all day from my business page.
Yeah, and then you have a network of, you know, amazing amount of coaches, and so when you
Hmm.
share something, that's a lot of people seeing it, which is
Right.
good. All right. Now, I don't know, is that three or four
I
or
think we're on four here.
okay, four.
Tip number four, this is related to Twitter, and you can do this probably not as much on Instagram, but you can do it on Facebook as well. It's called using Boolean operators. So what happens with that is you can search for a college coach. In a simple form, there's a lot of ways you can do it, but in simple form, use quotations. I would type volleyball, put a
Uh-huh.
quote, then I will space and put quote coach and another quote. And what'll happen is it'll pull up all of the volleyball coaches on Twitter by page, and you can. I will put volleyball, and then I'll put assistant coach. I didn't mean to say coach there. And you can it'll pull up all of the college coaches' profiles that are volleyball assistant coaches. You can go follow them, tag them, tweet them.
So wait, where do you do that?
In the Twitter search bar,
Oh, okay.
quotations, volleyball, and then put quotations assistant coach, and it'll literally
Okay.
pull all the profiles that are volleyball assistant coaches. And most of the time, you're gonna find that that's gonna be college coaches.
Okay. Does that mean that they have that in their description?
Yep, they have it in their bio.
Okay, okay. Perfect. And so you want to go and like all of them,
Like them, follow them, share your video, try to tag them, try to message them,
retweet
and
them, all that stuff.
you can also target certain coaches that way. So let's say a coach has a generic name, just making something up here,
Yeah.
Pam Smith. There's probably 1,000 Pam Smiths in the world. You can put quotes Pam Smith, and then you can put quote volleyball, and it'll pull up any tweets or profiles that have the word Pam Smith and volleyball together.
Hmm. Interesting. I like it.
So yeah,
Cool.
it's a quick little tip there. I mean, I've found hundreds of players I'm trying to recruit under my service that way, and also been able to find college coaches as well. If you're looking for somebody specific.
Cool. All right. Well, I'll have to try that one out. Um, all right. So then for your last tip
My
for getting
last
started.
tip. So this is recruiting related, but it's not college recruiting related. So I'm sure a lot of your followers know that their college players are soon about to be able to get paid based on their name, image, and likeness. So when it comes to recruiting, building your profiles and your followers, that's going to be very huge, especially for female volleyball players. They're going to have the opportunity to make money from their post. So
Uh-huh.
stay on top of your profiles. I mean, we're talking like way past a full scholarship worth of money. Sometimes 5,000 a post, 10,000, even 100, maybe $500. So that's going to
You
be
think
huge. You're
that?
gonna
You really
I
think
I
that?
I know that. I just know I could send you I can send you a post. There's a girl who plays volleyball for NAIA school, which is NAIA is separate from the NCAA, and
Right.
NAIA is allowing college players to take money. This girl, this is extreme, but she has 2 million followers on TikTok, like 5,000 on Instagram, and I forgot how many on Facebook. But when she posted her TikTok, she built a mini golf course with her dad that was sponsored by two companies, and they
Mm-hmm.
paid her $15,000 per post for that.
Wow.
So you're gonna have agents coming to recruit you. You're gonna have different things coming to recruit you, and it goes back to the first thing we talked about: open your profiles and be visible. And I know social media is huge for a lot of these kids, but they're gonna be able to monetize it along with playing volleyball and being visible in the future. So recruiting is about to change with
Yeah.
this new rule for the NCAA.
No kidding. Because I remember when I was playing in college, I was a sophomore and a new recruit was coming in, and she was a freshman, and she had played in a beach tournament. and won like, I don't know, $100 and took it. And she got docked. She had to not sit game. She had to sit games. She couldn't play.
Hmm.
And so this is changing the game. I mean, that was just for playing volleyball, but now to like be paid because you could be a social media influencer, like that's kind of crazy. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's kind of
and
cool, but kind of crazy
it
at the same time.
it is, and if you think about it from, I'll give you an example here. At Winthrop, I coached a couple different girls, and even other schools. A couple of them had 10,000 followers on Instagram just from posting basketball and just being themselves. And then
Yeah.
let's say a local restaurant was in the school's in Rock Hill, South Carolina. A local restaurant says, "Hey, can you and your team come eat here? Or can you come by yourself to eat here and announce it to your social media following? We'll give you $500 just to come eat in the restaurant that day in a
Yeah.
local town." So.
Yeah. I mean, 10 years ago, that would have been very faux pas. Like you couldn't do that. So
Hmm.
interesting. Very interesting. This has all been mind blowing. I'm telling you, I've learned so much about social media just in the last year of running a business and like really trying to what's the word? I don't know, get the most out of it so that I can grow my
Hmm.
club, but let
Yep.
alone now learning about how you can use it for recruiting and to, I don't know, get your name out. Just as it's been mind blowing that it's such an influence on what the outcome could be. So I want to thank you so much for coming on here and telling me, teaching me so much new things. And I actually really look forward to learning more um, as our friendship and mastermind stuff grows.
Oh, 100%. I appreciate you having me, and I hope to return in the future.
Yeah, and if you ever go into volleyball recruiting, you have to let me know.
Oh, it's coming, definitely. Once it's set up, you'll be the first I notify.
Awesome. All right. I'm going to take you off. That was so cool. Tobias is great. He taught me so much. If you ever have any questions about recruiting and using social media, just comment them below, and I'm sure Tobias will get on and comment and answer. And if he doesn't, I know I will. All right. So thanks for joining me today. If you want to see any of our Force TV episodes from the past or anything that before we became officially Force TV, um, check out our YouTube channel. Hit subscribe, and every time that we go live here, a video is uploaded after, and you can access them all in one spot. I think it's great. I need the views, I need the subscribers. So if you could please hop on over to YouTube, look for Force TV, and subscribe. Next week, I will be going over how to use YouTube to your benefit for recruiting. At least what I think and how you should use YouTube. And then the next week, we will be bringing on Karen Chisholm, my former volleyball coach from Texas State University. She is a legend. She was a 40-year college coach at Texas State, and I don't remember her win record, but it's pretty insane. So stick with me. Come see me next week. We'll talk about YouTube. And then the following week, I will be interviewing Karen Chisholm. All right. Thanks again. And I will see you next time. Bye.